Well, hello again, everybody. The History Guy here. This is Dawn of Man. I am playing in the Northlands, which is a more challenging mode that you can unlock after you get a certain level of milestones. If you have not seen the first 3 episodes, there is a link in the description below that will take you back to episode 1. We are getting ready to move on to the Bronze Age, and that'll be what we're exploring in this episode today. And then next episode, of course, we will get to the Iron Age. So what we're looking to do is unlock the Bronze Age, which means getting an additional 20 knowledge. Once I do that, that's going to allow masonry, which means I'll be able to start making walls, as well as a warehouse, a roundhouse. We'll get sword making, composite archery, we'll get brewing and horse domestication. So there's a lot to be done in this next episode. So I'll just jump in and out as conditions warrant. But for the most part, we'll just start exploring some of these new technologies as we unlock them. All right, so here's some good news. I ran out of cattle. That's not the good news. The good news is I've spotted some oryx, and those are among the creatures that I can domesticate as cattle. So I just have to look for the young ones and go out and domesticate them. We're going to go ahead and kill the adults just for the meat. So we're going to take out this whole herd if we can here. Let's see if it works out. It's actually been a couple of years of game time since I started this episode, and obviously there hasn't been really anything to report thus far. Hopefully we're going to send some folks out and we're going to deal with these guys here pretty soon. Every year I've been running completely out of straw, so I've really got to make sure that as soon as fall hits and it's harvest time for the stuff I can turn into straw, I've got to make sure that I set those as priorities so that the folks that are doing the harvesting, we can make sure that they know that nothing else matters except getting the harvesting done. So I guess we have to actually just select all of it when the time comes. But I'm going to have to really put a priority on making sure we get as much as possible. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and domesticate these cattle. I hope. There's one. That's a female. That's another female. Hopefully there's a male out there so we can get these things to reproduce. There is a male. We need to capture that male. It's right here. So if we can domesticate the male, that'll give me a male and 2 females. That would be really good. And the other thing that I'm kind of keeping an eye on, I'm up to 9 knowledge now. The good thing to do here is just to look at knowledge progress, and that tells you what you're close on. So then you know, okay, in this case, if I just go kill 1 more ibex, I'll get a point of knowledge. If I can kill 5 more mouflon, I'll get a point of knowledge. 2 more oryx. So there's a couple of things that I'm close on. I'm up to 90 in my settlement now. I believe that's the highest population I've had. We're halfway to the points I need to be able to get to the Bronze Age. So that'll happen here fairly soon. All right, so I'm at 19 knowledge, and if I build 1 more totem, that'll give me 5, and that will give me the knowledge I need. So we're going to go ahead and prioritize that, though we're about to hit fall, which means having to prioritize the harvest. I actually kind of survived through the year with enough straw this time, but I'm not so sure that's going to be the case here the next time, so I want to make sure that I get that. And as soon as we get this thing built, we're just waiting on some materials. Looks like I need some sticks. Am I really out of logs? That's part of the problem. We have completely used up all of our available wood, and I haven't actually designated an area that actually has wood available that we can cut it down. So we're going to go ahead and cut some down. I guess that's what we're waiting on. All right, it's harvest time, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that harvesting is happening. I guess once I prioritize it, I don't have to do it again. So that's good. We'll just go ahead and let that play out. Hopefully we'll gather enough to get through. Food hasn't been a problem. It's just been a matter of keeping enough straw. Let's go ahead and get some fish too. Come on. All right, we got our totem built. It's time. The Bronze Age is upon us. So now we get masonry, sword making, brewing, or horse domestication. I'm thinking horse domestication is probably a good way to go. We've unlocked bronze smelting, which of course I guess means I'm going to have to be able to... Let's look at metallurgy for a second. Now we can get tin mines because we need copper and tin in order to make bronze. So we don't have iron yet. That'll be the next age. But we'll go ahead and get some tin mines going. I guess we're going to have to find said tin. I'm sure there's some around here somewhere. Actually, we'll look first. I got to see what color tin actually is because I'm not really sure. Oh, that's a megalith. We do need another one of those. And there's one there too. Is tin this one here? That's copper, which I guess we're going to need some of as well. So I'll look for some tin, and once I find that, I'll get a mine going. And then we'll be able to go from there. Finally found one. Man, tin is rare and hard to find, but here some is. So let's go ahead and get a tin mine built. And then we're definitely going to want to queue up some people to go extract it. It's going to take some time for that. Let's place a work area here. Actually, I don't think I have to place a work area. I think they'll just do that on their own. No, mine ore. There we go. And we can designate how many people we want working on that. Okay, so there we have it. Working on that fall harvest, and then hopefully we can start gaining some more knowledge points and start leveling up some other things here. Man, a couple of animals have gone extinct. The cave bear, the reindeer, the ancient bison, the megaloceros, which I don't remember seeing many of those, and the cave lion have all gone extinct. So I guess we're going to be seeing some different animals here in the future. I didn't gather quite as much of a harvest of straw this time as I did last year. That's going to be a problem, but it is higher than in past years. So we may or may not be okay, but for the most part I think we'll get through. I'm starting to gather my first tin ore, and we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what that's going to allow me to do. So let's look at the metalsmith here for a second. We're going, and we're no longer going to be producing copper items. We're going to go ahead and switch over to bronze, which of course are much better. You can see that a copper knife, for example, is 2 stars for butchering and 1 star for fighting, whereas a bronze knife is 3 stars and 2 stars. So everything seems to be slightly better, but not quite as good as iron, not yet. And once we get to bronze swords, then we can begin to make those as well. So we're going to start making tin weapons and tin tools from now on, and they'll be slightly better, and they'll certainly help the next time. I've only faced one raid in the last, I think, probably 4 years of game time, so the raids seem to have slowed down. They're not too bad right now. I've upgraded my capacity a little bit, so I'm up to 104 now is my available capacity, so we've got a little bit of room there. Let's see what the traders got to offer this time around. Beer. Oh boy, for the first time we have beer available to us. Now it's 10. Now, you know, this tin ore actually would come in really handy because I've only got the one place to mine tin, and it's pretty far away. So we'll trade a couple fishing rods. Let's go ahead and buy up the beer as well. Now I have a feeling that's going to go very quickly. The people are going to like that a lot, I'm sure. What can I trade for a couple more? Copper axe. There we go. All right. Enjoy the beer, folks. All right, it's time for the ultimate megalithic structure, the stone circle. We're going to build ourselves a Stonehenge, folks. We've just got to find a spot to put it. And that is the unfortunate trouble here, is that it's really not easy to find a spot. But there is one. So we're going to start dragging 6 megaliths over to the stone circle, and we're going to get ourselves a Stonehenge, which I think should make some folks very happy. So what I've got to do is got to find those megaliths that I've been digging up different places and make sure that we have them queued up to be transported, and then we'll be able to bring them over. All right, so some good news here. As it gets harder to gain knowledge because I've achieved so many of the early goals, we've been offered masonry through trade, but of course it costs 450, which means I'm going to be trading in most of my fishing rods because it's the only thing of any great value that I have in large supply that I can spare, along with 6 copper spears to get it. But that unlocks one of the knowledge areas of the Bronze Age without having to take the step of spending 10 knowledge points to earn it, which means I can now save that knowledge for either horse domestication, brewing, or sword making. which sword making is probably the way I'm going to go, but I'm not entirely sure yet. So now let's go ahead and see what masonry is going to allow for us to do. I believe it's going to allow me to build, yes, stone structures, which are obviously going to be more durable than mud structures. We can now upgrade our homes to round houses, which I'm guessing will each probably hold one more person, but of course most importantly are going to be more durable. Now the good news is stone is in easy access right here. There seems to be quite a bit of it within the confines of my village, so it's going to be easy to gather more stone as I need. We're going to go ahead and designate a few extra people to work on stone because I could probably use the extra. So in the meantime, we did our harvesting and we got right about to where we were last time as far as straw goes, so hopefully that'll be enough. I've cut down the number of animals that I'm allowing myself to keep because we were running out of straw because I was feeding it all to my animals. So I've put the max on things like goat and sheep at 10, pigs at 20, cattle at 10, donkeys at 10. So that'll keep those numbers a little lower. All right, I was coming over to check on the progress of my Stonehenge area, which I've got 2 of the megaliths there, and we've got a raider attack about to happen. So let's see where it is. Oh, it's over on this side this time. Maybe they're going to run into these bears, and the bears will give me a little bit of defense. How are we out of stable space for animals? We got to slaughter some pigs. All right. Let's gather up the troops here. All of the non-fighting types are off doing their thing. Where in the world did my people go? Have they already gone out to fight? I don't see my... Alright, this is a problem because I don't see where all of my warriors went to. Where did they go? This is really strange. Oh, this is them. They all gathered right here. Everybody else is the ones that are hiding. So, all right, let's get over here and fight, guys, because gathering over there at the gate really isn't going to do us any good. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, so we lost 2 people, but we otherwise took care of business. Oh, and then a bear came into the village. We're going to have to do some repair work here. I actually want to probably tear down some of this so I can put in a gate over here. So I'll go ahead and take care of that, and then we're going to start upgrading this to a stone wall, which is going to be a little more sturdy. The stone wall begins to be built, and we're kind of integrating it in with the wooden wall. Eventually we'll get it all built up. We're also starting to upgrade. We've got our first roundhouse here. And let's see, we should have all the megaliths that are necessary being designated to be brought. It's just going to take a while to get them here. So we're waiting on the other 4. They are all currently designated. So it's just a matter of watching them brought out. And I thought this was one, but that's actually just the trader that's arriving. So, oh, we've exhausted one of our stone areas here. So we're going to have to be more mindful of how much stone I've got and what I need. So we'll have to kind of create a new work area for that, for collecting stone. Stick it over here, and we'll get 3 people working on that. Trader has arrived. Not sure the trader has anything I really want or need. Cattle. Oh, hey, brewing. So that would be another technology I would not have to research. So the question once again, though, is do I have anything of value to trade? We have made some more fishing rods, but there's really not that many left, and I'm not sure I've got enough of those that I can spare. Man, this may not happen. We've created our... How did I get 2? I must have taken those from raiders, because I don't have the technology to make bronze swords yet. So that's kind of awesome. Maybe we trade some copper spears. These are all things we can remake if necessary. I hate to kind of get low on some of this stuff, but I really do want to have that technology without having to research it. So there we go. We've got brewing. What does that allow us to build? Let's take a look at production for a second. Here it is, the brewery. So I would guess we're going to use some of the existing crops that I'm making, that I'm producing in order to make the brewery. So let's prioritize that bad boy. We're going to start letting our people drink. Now, it's easy to say, ooh, they're going to make beer, they're going to get drunk. But here's the thing. You had water and you had milk from animals. Milk, obviously, there was no pasteurization. And water was only as clean as what sources of water you had. So this was honestly actually a way of making a clean, healthier drink. They didn't have Kool-Aid. They didn't have Pepsi, anything like that. Not that those are healthy, but so it really was an important part of society to be able to create something else they could drink. All right, so we bought those first two, and now I've got almost 20 points. So I've got enough to go ahead and unlock. Let's go with horse domestication. It's going to just leave the weapons to be things that I can create in this current age. So now, horse domestication. Let's take a look at this. It allows me to capture horses or purchase them. I'm going to have to go ahead and build another stable because I've been running short on that as it is. This also makes me start to worry a little bit about my straw production because I've already been short on that. And now with adding horses to the mix, I'm going to need even more straw. So I'll go ahead and see what I can do about that. All right, we've got our brewery. So we're going to see what happens and what they need. So yeah, it is going to be water and grain that is used to produce that. So we're going to start making our beer. I'm a little nervous about the harvest. We're just not harvesting everything fast enough. I just have too many other things that people are doing, I guess. But we're gathering that stuff up as quickly as I possibly can. The problem is I had building requirements, and in order to upgrade those buildings, they required some of that grain. So, or not grain, but some of that straw. So I may find myself in a situation where I have to tear down a few huts in order to get myself enough straw to get through the winter. We're 1 point away from the next knowledge, and that'll be sword making. And then we'll just have to get composite archery, and we will be done with the Bronze Age. Okay, we've got 12 knowledge. So let's go ahead and unlock sword making. Able to finally start making some swords now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our metalsmith. We'll tell him to start making some of those. That's going to come in handy for the next raid. I'm getting a little low on harvesting tools, so that's certainly a problem. I'm going to have to go out and start looking for additional sources for mining and start kind of queuing that up in a greater number. I'm also super low on wood, so let's go ahead and deal with some trees, cut them down. I have no straw to feed my animals. Holy cow, I didn't even make it through the winter with enough straw. That is a huge, huge problem. My animals are going to start dying. I have nothing with which to maintain my huts throughout the year. Big, big problem. So we're going to have to start figuring out sources of straw. I'm going to go start searching for some places that I can gather some in the wild because I know that's a possibility. So we'll have to look for some. Goodness, that's a big problem. All right, I'll go look for that and get folks out there gathering whatever we can come up with. No, those are blueberries. That's not going to do the deal. All right, I'll look around. I am about to have a really hard winter. Very little got harvested that time around. We didn't even hit 50 as far as straw harvesting goes this time because I was low on tools and the people just weren't doing it. And the second that it changes over to winter, you lose everything that you didn't harvest. And so that's a problem. So I've got to prioritize making sure I've got enough harvesting tools. Right now I've only got 17 sickles, and that's been my problem. So we're going to start just telling, I got to find my crafter here. Let's make sure that we're making flint sickles. We're making sickles of every kind. I've just got to queue up as many of those as I can so next year I don't have this trouble. And I just got to hope enough of my animals survive this next year. Maybe if I'm really lucky, the trader's got something, but we're going to find out. 6. Well, 6 is more than I have right now, so we're definitely going to take it. Does he have any leather? Because I could really use some leather, too. I think we'll at least buy up the tannin and the copper ore and the tin ore. So I'll buy up a little bit of that. I'm certainly not going to get composite archery. I just don't have what I need to be able to purchase that from him at the moment. We have a raider attack, and for the very first time, we're going to be using swords to defend ourselves, so at least a few of them. I've got 6. I don't know who's got them, but we're going to find out here very soon. So let's find out where the raiders are. Here they come, right over here. I think we'll be ready for them. I'm not sure where my folks are gathering. They're gathering right here. The dogs are there. They're ready to help fight. Let's get out here on the fringes of things. We're going to come right out to where these towers are, and we're going to take these guys on. So let's do this, folks. They always take out my towers, and they're going to kill the people that were inside, unfortunately. But my people are a-coming. Oh man, he's going to destroy my stables with my animals inside. No, you don't. All right, we lost 8 that time, but we killed 75. Oh, no, 75 is how many I've killed altogether now. So I lost 8 people that time. That actually hurts a lot, but that's the reality sometimes. We're just now getting through winter, and obviously major problems that time around because of my lack of straw. So hopefully with the number of sickles we are going to build, we're still stuck at 18. Hopefully things get better. Oh, the trader has arrived and brought some desperately needed sickles. 8 copper sickles available. That's huge. I could also use this leather because I need some leather. I'm not producing enough, so I can get those megaliths dragged over and finish my Stonehenge. All right. In the meantime, we're going to need to trade 140 in value to make up for this. Let's trade some copper spears. Definitely not sickles. Bone spears aren't worth much. So I'll figure this out and we'll get it traded. Okay, we've got enough points to get composite archery, which also, which is our last required research for all of Bronze Age. That leads me to now we're ready to start saving up for the Iron Age. So the last thing I want to do for this episode is I want to get that Stonehenge structure built. So we're just waiting on the last monoliths to be brought. They're kind of far away. Do we have one coming in here? No, we don't. So we've got some chickpeas that we can harvest, though. So we've got to wait for those monoliths. I'm just waiting for folks to go out and deal with that. And once they do, we'll have that thing built, and we'll take a look at that, and we will marvel at its greatness. All right, so one other thing I'm doing here is I ran out of storage space, so we're upgrading one of our storage huts to a warehouse. I won't do the other one quite yet, just because of the materials that are required. It's going to use up some of the precious little straw that I have. Hoping, really hoping that we're able to harvest a little more than last time. And I'm just kind of watching to see how much straw we're able to gather up. We're at 29 right now, 30, but we're about 2/3 of the way through fall. The good news is I'm up to 27 sickles. Hopefully by next year we can get back up to a higher amount. That's really what's limiting my ability to harvest right now. Only 33 straw. That is hardly enough. I've been going through over 100 a year. So anything more than that certainly going to not be enough. So I lost some people to hypothermia in the last blizzard. A couple died of disease. One died in a bear attack. I'm down to 84 in population. What I've done now is I've told, and I should have done this sooner, I told my metalsmith to stop producing anything but sickles. So we're going to just stop all production on anything else, only produce sickles. Just ramp those suckers up because we need a bunch of sickles because I'm already out of straw. I didn't even make it through the winter with the amount of straw that I harvested. So I've got to get those sickles mass produced so next year I don't have this problem. I'm still waiting on 2 more megaliths to be brought over to this area that I need in order to finish that structure. And I'm probably going to have to tell my crafter to stop producing anything else that doesn't involve or that involves leather, so that I can have the leather I need to produce those couple of sleds to drag that stuff over. So let's take a look and see how quickly the sickles go up. We're already up to 30. I need to get up to maybe hopefully 50 by the next harvest. Okay, we're into fall, and we've got 44 sickles. It's not quite as many as I would have hoped, but it's certainly way better than what I've had in the past. We're waiting on one more monolith to be brought, and we will finally be able to build this Stonehenge, and that's where we will wrap things up for this episode. Oh, man. And you've got to be kidding me. Right in the middle of the harvest is when I'm going to get attacked. Unbelievable. That is the last thing I need right now. And we're going to lose some people. Yeah, one's already been killed. All right, we've got to quickly deal with these people because, man, the last thing I need to deal with is this right now when I've desperately got to be able to get the harvest complete. So let's get up there and fight these guys. Oh, man, they killed 5 of my dogs. My dogs got there first. That's why. All right. The fight is over. Everybody get back to the harvest quickly. Oh, man, that really stinks. I've only harvested 16 straw so far, and we're almost halfway through the fall. So we've got to desperately get back to harvesting. Let's get this stone circle, this megalith done. Oh, here we go. Well, the harvest ain't going to be good, but the Stonehenge is going up. We're up at almost 50 straw. I definitely would have gotten a decent amount had it not been for that raid. But we're going to have ourselves a Stonehenge here in a minute. Let's go ahead and cut down some more trees while we're at it. Hey, it's almost complete. All right, we're going to hit actually about 60 straw, it looks like. Could have been better, but definitely could have been worse. That's the best we've had in a while. All right, the trader has arrived, and we've got our stone circle, which gave 3 knowledge. All right, let's take a look at the trader, and then we're going to wrap things up here. 4 sickles, we'll definitely take those, and that's really all I'm going to take, I think. Where are the magic fishing rods? That's what I use to trade with all the time. All right, we're going to wrap things up right there. I'm well on my way to being able to get iron smelting, and so we will come back with that. Probably what will be the last episode, at least for now, is to get to that iron age, because that's really the last thing we have to unlock to have been able to show everything in the game. So let me know your thoughts. Use the comments in the description below, under the description below, to do that, and we will see you again real soon. Thanks for watching.